This video is to show you how to create a story booklet out of the blank piece of paper that I showed you on the other video, and we folded it to make it into this small booklet. Right, so for you to get a 7-8 for this criteria A science summative on a water cycle story, you will need to complete a story booklet, putting down the path that your water molecule went through into a story. The first page should be a title page, and the last page should be a page about you, the author. All right, and then there are 6 pages inside that should correspond the 6 steps of your path of your water molecule. Right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to show you an example of a story booklet that is in the making. Here is the story booklet with the title page. Right, so make sure that the model that you use for a water molecule matches the scientific model of what a water molecule should be, which is 1 oxygen atom, which is the red one, and 2 hydrogen atoms, which is actually white, but since it's a white piece of paper, then we use gray outline. All right, and as you open it up, the first page will have your first step. So for example, I have my first step as in the clouds, and here is my story on top. Here is my picture in the middle. And at the bottom, I have placed my science fact, which is a fact from the water cycle gizmo, right? So you continue that with you're creating a story for the rest of the pages. And this one is not colored yet, but it has my storyline of this, this booklet, right? And each page has a fact, a science fact from the gizmo. Okay, each page has the drawing with the water molecule model according to the science model for a water molecule, right? And I still need to color it. I just wanted to show you that this is almost complete, right? And the back has the, it's about the author. So I'll read this real quick. Here's my water cycle story. This is Tubig, a water cycle story. There was a water molecule named Tubig. Tubig was floating around in the sky as water vapor. And there is Tubig as water vapor. The science fact: when saturated air in the atmosphere cools, water vapor condenses into tiny droplets to form clouds. And I'll just keep reading this on. All of a sudden, the temperature of the atmosphere dropped and Tubig crystallized into a snowflake along with some friends. So the story that I just wrote here is truthful to the science fact of what happens to a water molecule when it gets colder, right? And the model that I showed for my drawing is the same model that we saw in the gizmo phases of water, right? Where the water molecules form into a crystal. The fact here is the snowiest major city in the US is Syracuse, New York. On with the story. Tubig landed on a glacier and stayed there for a few thousand years. There's my glacier. Science fact: glaciers contain 68.7% of the world's fresh water. Next one. The atmosphere started getting warmer. Tubig started to move faster and changed into liquid and fell into the ocean. Science fact: the oceans contain 97.25% of Earth's water. As it got warmer, Tubig moved faster and changed state into water vapor. Tubig left the ocean surface and floated into the atmosphere. Science fact: when liquid water is heated by the sun, it evaporates into the atmosphere. Last page, last step. As too big went higher and higher into the atmosphere, it became cooler and cooler. Too big slowed down and joined other water droplets as a cloud. Science fact: when saturated air in the atmosphere cools, water vapor condenses into tiny droplets to form clouds. That's the story. And about the author, and I drew myself. You have to have like a self-portrait of yourself, a self-portrait. And about me, Mrs. Howell lives in Folsom with her husband, 2 kids, and a dog. She has a college kid at Cal Poly Sloan. That's my water cycle story.